I'm Jen Cutter, welcome to OpenAlpha. Okay, it's not really OpenAlpha, it's just my video for Wednesday, July 8th, 2009, but it's going to sound an awful lot like an OpenAlpha because I'm going to go nuts and talk about the Ghostbusters multiplayer that I love and play 24/7. And I'm also going to be relying heavily on my beautiful, wonderful, constant best friend, my tablet, to make sure I don't miss any major points. Now, even though a lot of the multiplayer achievements on the Xbox 360 version are still glitched, and while I'd love to see Atari do a patch for it, I'm not holding my breath, it doesn't really ruin my fun because I enjoy completing objectives with random pickup groups, and even if we don't make it, it's still fun to see what kind of techniques people do, what weapons they favor. So let's start by diving into my stats page. With over $4 million to my name, I flew through the ranks and finally made Ghostbuster of the Year. Woo! I have a nifty black suit to show off for my effort. It's really too bad you can't view your old suits or choose which one you want to wear, but maybe there will be more customization in a hopeful sequel. I also can't recall being knocked out that many times. That ratio is really awful. I've had a few rounds where people were out for themselves and their own high score, but they weren't that common. Oh well, I still like bringing people back every chance I get. I'm doing pretty well in the most wanted ghost category. There's one left in the cemetery and the Slimers that you have to find in the slime dunk rounds. I'm not really into those rounds, and there are reports that those Slimers never show up anyway, so I'll deal with that later. And as you recall, I have a little over $4 million, but that doesn't show up on the leaderboards since it has kept me in the twos for some inexplicable reason. I'm not losing sleep over it, but it's still odd. I'd love to hear if this is happening to anyone else.
Good hunting! Bring back lots of ghosts.
Containment is a lot of fun, though I don't think I've ever been in a group that was able to declare victory at the end. Depending on the number of players, you have to catch a certain number of ghosts before time expires. Catching ghosts gives you more time. Now I find the slime tether perfect for this job, and I'll show you why. That's the old-fashioned way, and here's the slime tether way.
6 o'clock high.
Easy and fun, it's a win-win situation. Aiming is crucial since you don't have many shots. After the round, you are given your cash and your title. We Came, We Saw is for being first to catch 10 ghosts.
Your watchful eye is needed down at the library.
Don't you just love Janine? I'm so glad they got Annie Potts for the game. Thief is really fun too, but you only declare victory when you save all 4 artifacts from thieving ghosts during the timed round. You'll still get the cash, win or lose, so try not to quit if one gets away. Any round will end while all players are knocked out, so make sure you bring back your buddies when you get the chance. Here I felt safe bringing him back since that ghost wasn't a threat at the time, and he was nice enough to return the artifact right after too. Those green thingies are what you are charged with protecting against both ghosts and destructible enemies. It's always nice to declare victory, and I caught the most ghosts trying to make a break with the green things. It's nice to have a good round when you're recording.
You guys ready to bring some serious curses down? It's time to go tear up the cemetery.
Ah, destruction. Another round I've never seen a victory screen in. In past groups, we've gotten them down to the last 2 and then end up getting stomped. The same sort of green thingies you were saving in Thief are trying to kick your butt in Destruction. They continually spawn enemies, and you need to get its health meter down to blow it up. Thankfully, all the ghosts it spawned will disappear with it. The green ones are easier to destroy than the red ones, and the red one spawns the ghoul that packs the biggest punch.
Wow, even losers win occasionally.
I was awarded this title since I was never knocked out in this round. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. And it also helps that I was running around like a crazy person. Protection gives you 3 PKE disruptors that you have to protect from baddies while it charges. The enemies get harder as you progress, and you really do have to focus on keeping the big guys away from the disruptor, because the charge will drop every time it gets hit, and there's only so much time on the clock. Survival is just what it sounds like. A bunch of Ghostbusters, 10 waves of ghosts, each posing an increased challenge, and you better stay on your toes to keep everyone else alive. I love the shock blast for this one when the big slime monsters come at you, or if your group is really struggling with the mini marshmallows. It can be a huge lifesaver. Don't forget to try and lead the big guys away from the fallen teammates so it's easier for somebody else to res them. Playing res tag as you get turns getting swatted down right after resing someone doesn't really gain you any ground.
No workman's comp. Get off the lazy.
Now, a lot of my Ghostbusters multiplayer beefs aren't really attributed to the Ghostbusters game, but to online gaming in general, but I thought I'd throw them out there, see what sticks, and maybe just change somebody's life. Or hopefully just alert them to some annoying things that they may not be aware that they are doing. So let's get started. Yes, this was a huge pet peeve of mine. If you're going to spend the entire match breathing heavily into your microphone, just don't use a mic. Mute it, do something else, play some of your own music in the background, but why? Why breathe heavily the entire round? Like, I've played 4 rounds with 4 different guys where they were just breathing heavily and nothing else. That there was no saying, oh, you know, there's this guy over here, or don't touch that ghost, I'm going to slime tether him. Nothing. Just heavy breathing the entire match. And I wound up muting the sound because it was just a pain in the butt. Let's see. Oh yes, the classic. If you have a lousy internet connection, please don't host a game. It's very frustrating to try and actually shoot a ghost where you're not too sure where the ghost is because it keeps hopping around because the connection's so bad. Because you never even know if you're on target. You think you're hitting somebody, but you're actually shooting a wall if you're looking at it from the host connection, and then that ghost is actually behind you kicking your ass and you're dead. Not that fun. Kind of frustrating. And yes, this is a Ghostbusters specific thing, but some people on the recruiting screen, I like the, what's it called, Shockwave, I like the Shock Blast, sorry. I like the Meson Collider, and sometimes Slime Tether again, very useful if you know what you're doing. But some people just stick with the plain vanilla proton stream, and there's nothing wrong with that. They paid their money, they get to have fun the way they like. Try not to freak out at them in the channel when we're all trying to get ready to play a game, because it tells everybody that you are going to be an ass when it comes to playing with you. Maybe they're really, really good with the proton stream and they don't really need anything else. And even if they do want something else, there are tons of power-ups in the level for them to change their mind. So please, try not to freak at them in the recruiting screen. You don't know how good they are until you actually get in the match. So please, give them a chance. Let's see. Yes. Again, this is not Ghostbusters specific, but something that kind of makes me chuckle on the inside, so I'm not that mad about it. But to everybody that quits just before I'm going to win a game, that's really, really sad. If you can't take losing to a girl, wow, you're going to have a hard time, because there's more of us online every year. That's it for today, and I'll see you tomorrow.